So this is the kind of sensing wire which we put on the battery according to the series. And then after this is the complete installation process of VM. Once it gets completed, then the battery moves towards the testing again. So what I showed you in the starting is the process of cell testing. Then there is also a process of pack testing. जितने भी हमारे terminals होते हैं तो what we do, we put a silicon compound on it. तो जिससे जितनी भी हमारी terminals की heat होती है तो that will be absorbed. और जितने भी हमारे thermal sensors होते हैं, all the thermal sensor will be put it with this adhesive as well, so that it won't move from here and there. This is the kind of semi-finished product which we have, and this will be finished like when we put in this casing. So we put this battery pack in the casing, and then so this is how it will be done. So basically we put these epoxy sheets just for the precautionary purpose before sending it to the while we send it to the testing, and then after this will be installed finally. So this is the way we put it, as this is a kind of naked pack which we do, and then after this process it will went down to this potting process, and then you can see this is the kind of final pack which gets ready. This is the potting process. This is the kind of final pack which we get. So it is almost ready. We just have to install the connector in this and just have to put the cap of the box, and then the final pack will be ready in this form. And our pack is having this alarm, which when the battery gets up to beyond 60 degrees, it shows an alarm. So it is a kind of safety feature which we have enabled in the battery. And for example, if you are venting outside, so in that particular case, what happens, like your battery went down into sleep. So you can recover this with the help of this button, and this is the pressure vent which we have. So whatever be the air inside the battery, it pulls it out. So this is the work of that pressure vent. This is with Maxvolt branding and all stuff. So this is the sticker that we have. So this is the kind of finished good that we have. We just put it in the box and it will be dispatched to the client. So that is the complete process that we have.
Hello, Adab, Namaste. Welcome to yet another episode of India's Business Legends. You all must have heard about the clean source of energy, which is the lithium batteries, and how they're powering the cars, the e-rickshaws and scooters. To know more about how these lithium-powered vehicles are changing the industry and how these batteries are being produced, today we are going to meet Vishal Gupta, who's the founder of Maxvolt Energy. So let's meet him. Hello, Mr. Vishal. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting.
You're most welcome on the show. So first up, I want to know, how did you come up with the idea of Maxvolt Energy?
So basically, we incorporated in 2019. Prior to that, I was working with one of a company who's manufacturing solar panel cleaning robots. So at that point of time, I was taking care of their battery division. So what's happening there, because the industry was not that mature and that is at a very initial stage. So we find out there are a lot of problems in the industry. First of all, the quality product, customizations, and lead time of the product. So we get into this like we will think about it, how we can do it.
So who all are the co-founders of the company?
So along with me, Mr. Sachin Gupta, he is an investor and advisor, and he is one of my cousin brothers as well. And apart from it, Mr. Satyen Shukla and Mr. Bhuvneshwar Pal Singh. Satyen Shukla is responsible for complete business development of the company, and Mr. Bhuvneshwar Pal Singh is taking care of the commercial operations basically. So these all are kind of people whom I know since my childhood. So I just came to them, like we were sitting on a weekend and we were discussing like what are the further things and further synergies going on in the market. So I just tell them that this is the thing which is a futuristic thing we can say, and whose government is a bit focused and market will be there. So then we took around like 6 to 8 months to how what the market is going, for all the market research we can say in short. So we did the market research, then we came up like this is the industry where we can get into. And as already my background comes from this particular industry, so we finally incorporated on May 2019, and then we move forward towards this development of battery packs basically.
So, how did IIT background help you in forming your company or in coming up with the ideas for your company?
So basically it helps us a lot because the environment, the learning which you get from there, so whatever I get from there, so it will be implemented all here. So like some practical and some theoretical learning from there, and then all the practicals will be implemented over here. So we get a lot of exposure from that as well. We learned a lot, we improved our product a lot, we get into how we can select the good vendors and with good quality of product. So these kind of enhancements which help us to have a better product.
How do you think the environment over there helped you in forming your business?
So in terms of the in terms of this IIT background helping, so first of all the entrepreneurship self which is there, so it helps us a lot by putting the things forward whenever we came up with anything, so we can discuss with them, and they just put the things like you can do it in this manner, on that manner. The professors were there, so they helped a lot first of all. And secondly, in terms of the overall scenario, or we can say the overall prospect which we get from there, so first of all the theoretical and practical knowledge which we get, so we implemented it over here. It helps us to have a better product, like an enhancement in the products, plus the selecting the particular materials, how we can get into this. And so this is the overall scenario which help us from this particular background.
So, when you thought of starting the business, how did you initially collect the investment amount?
So it requires a lot of courage first of all to start a business.
To start anything, the first thing that you really need is courage.
Exactly. So everyone is from the basically a salaried background we can say. So getting it on the month of 30th, every month of 30th, and then spending it, it's a, like a good thing. But when it comes to the business part, so you have to take care of the people who are with you instead of yourself first.
So, you have to ensure that by 28th, you have enough funds to give salary to your employees.
Exactly. So we initially put in our own money. So a bunch of money which we put
How
in.
much did you invest initially?
So initially we invested 1.5 crores. So some from ourselves or some from family friends kind of. So this is the way we started, and then it moving forward. Like when we started, post that 1 year COVID came up. So like 2 year we got impacted from COVID. Then in the third year, so as we have completed a like from third year we get the bank support. So we get an initial limit of around like 1.5 crores from the bank, and then moving forward to it, recently we raised a round of around $1.5 million.
So, after bankroll, you also raised some money from investors.
Exactly.
How did that work out?
So it worked out in a great manner. So we raised around 12.5 crores. We closed a round recently. So we had raised 1.5 crore rupees from the investors. So this money help us to have the boost in the manufacturing capacity plus our R&D capacity as well. So we are working on multiple prospects where we are utilizing this money, and we have in terms of capacity, if I talk about, so right now our capacity is 2200 batteries a month. We are expanding our capacity to around 8,000 batteries a month. Our new plant is in commissioning, so it will be ready by, we can say, mostly by end of this month. So from July we will be operational with a capacity of around 4x which we have right now.
So, with that much increase in capacity, what kind of expectations do you have?
So so we are having a different prospect regarding this. So first of all, we primarily are not focused on this OEM supplies. We work with a few mid-size or small size OEM. We don't work with big size OEM as of now. But yes, we have future plans for that as well, because once you want a volume, so you have to went down to the OEM. We have a different prospect. Like we work in the retail segment basically. So if you look into the whole market, apart from the lead acid manufacturers in lithium, we are the only company who's working towards this retail chain. So what our prospect is, so if I give you a brief like a detailed description about this, so it is like what happens when you buy a battery pack with a scooter of OEM scooter. So in terms of service, you have to follow that particular chain. For example, that end customer reach to the dealer, dealer to the CNF or whatever be the seller there, and then the seller reach to the OEM, and OEM reach to the battery manufacturer. That is a chain which is following in the market. So just to bridge that gap, what we did, we started the retail chain in a different prospect. We have our own associate points basically. So these are come warehouse, come service centers which we have. So in that what happens, we open that on a state to state basis. Right now we are available in 6 states, and in Delhi NCR we are itself. So we are catering 3 states from here itself. So we have around 6 total number of 9 states which we are doing right now. So all the sales and supplies will be done through that warehouse. Apart from it, the one major core prospect which is service. So we have reduced that TAT to 48 hours only. Usually, how the industry is working, it takes around 20 to 30 days of a battery repair. We took that into 48 hours. We are working towards replacement only. Our battery is equipped with smart BMS, so all the things we can diagnose through the app, and we just get to know what exactly the situation of the battery pack is, whether it is our battery pack issue, whether it is the controller issue, whether it is some wiring issues, any whatever be the scenario, we will be able to figure it out through our app. If it will be a battery issue or cell level issue, so we replace the battery within 48 hours. If it is a normal issue, so we, our service engineer, will visit them and do the things on site itself. So that is how we are working basically.
Interesting. So, coming back to how you got funded, I think there are a lot of viewers who are actually looking for funding for their own business. So, can you guide such viewers about the entire process of looking for funding?
So we in terms of like the process, so it is like you have to get connected through a proper mentor first of all. So we get associated with Venture Garage. So we, it is a like Vivek is the one whom I'm connected with. So he's one of the finance company which we work them. So they work closely first of all. They are working with us since 2019. We incubated with them.
Okay.
So then after they handholded us and guide us in many manners, because we are not expert in everything, whether we
Right.
can develop the product or we can fail in market, doing the market. So
True.
they help us in handholding first of all. Then they then we reach out to a certain stage, then we starting pitching to the investors, where we have the prospect, what are the future plans that we have, what are the
Right.
innovations which we are doing. So that is all which you have to look into and get through those kind of mentors which help you to get the funding done.
I'm sure our users are going to be using these insights for the future pitches.
Exactly. They will.
Yeah. So my next question is going to be, how did you use the money that you raised?
So we are putting this money heavily into R&D. So I'll give a broader one more prospect which I haven't give you yet. So we are working. We are a battery manufacturer. Wherever you can imagine a battery, we will be there. So for example, right now our major revenue comes from like this EV industry and from the energy storage industry. So if I talk about the segregation, so from EV we are doing around 75% of the revenue, which includes two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and like L5 categories. And secondly is the energy storage category, in which we are doing up to 200 kilowatt hour of solution. So apart from it, you can look into the starter batteries and this camera backups, all kind of batteries, drone batteries, which we are also in discussion with a few companies. So these are the few segments which we work. Apart from it, we are also working for recycling and reusability. So this is one more core prospect where we are investing heavily in R&D. So we are putting, so we have divided us into phases. We have developed our own charger as well. So in the third phase, we are putting a charger line, and in the second phase, setting up our own recycling plant. So what our agenda is to develop the complete supply chain. So from the beginning of the cell to the end of the life of the cell. So that is what our core prospect is. We are heavily investing in this particular thing. Also, we are expanding this with the help of this money in the megawatt level projects. For example, this 2 megawatt, 3 megawatt, 5 megawatt. So these kind of projects which we are also looking into as a future prospect. So we are working towards those as well. So this fund will help us to have a recycling, battery capacity enhancement plus R&D which we are doing, and apart from it, the setups which we are doing right now, recycling setup which I said.
It is said that the lithium batteries that are being used by e-rickshaws and e-scooters, they are creating an immense amount of e-waste. Now, this is obviously harming the environment, something which was thought of that, it's going to help save a lot of non-renewable sources of energy. It's actually creating a lot of waste. So, is there a solution for that? You've spoken extensively about recycling batteries and all.
Yeah, there is. So basically what happens, like the cell which we use is designed for the EV application, or we can say electric vehicle application. So what happens, let me show you the how we are doing it basically.
Actually, that would be a
That
better
will work
idea.
better, yeah, please.
Let's go see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Vishal, that was actually very interesting to understand how you guys are breaking down used batteries and reusing them. So, moving on, now I want to understand how your business has been faring in the past 5 years, because everybody faced the big, massive COVID.
So initially when we started in 2019, post that like 8 to 9 months, we took 6 months for the product development,
Right.
and as soon as the product get developed, so there's a hit of COVID there. So like it somewhere impacted a lot, because it impacted the sales, like everything got stopped in simple, if I talk about. So but yes, we survived, we tried whatever way we can do. We worked with our team is also very helpful in the same. They supported us. So it is a kind of to and fro thing which we did.
Right.
So like first year we don't do much of numbers. It was just closed at 1.14 crores, and in the second year also there's an again the same impact, but yeah, there are few relaxations. But yes, we did our revenue around 2x, so we closed our books at 2.54 crores. But in the third year we did our revenue at 3x, so we closed our books at around 6.5 crores. In the fourth year we again doubled our revenue. So that, and there's one more norm came up, that is the AIS 156. So we can proudly say that our all batteries are compliant right now, and we are having certifications by of AIS 156 as well. So in 2022 government introduced a norm, so that year we also get a hit. Sales got slumped for 6 months almost. No one is ready to buy lithium because there's no clear guideline. Government just gave the first draft of the that policy, and it took almost, like I can say, 9 to 10 months for the government to get the final policy. So that slump also was there, so we closed our books around 14 crores. And as soon as this everything get perfectly, so we closed our this previous financial year, we closed at 48.5 crores. And in this financial year we're planning to go through around 1.50 crores.
150 CR, almost triple of what you did last year.
It is.
That's a wow story, guys.
So basically, you can see there's a huge potential in the market. Plus, we are expanding ourselves towards the ESS as well, because as you see, like government is banning the DGs, and they are focusing on renewable more to get the electricity generated. So in that particular prospect, there's a huge scope. And as you know, like the EV industry somewhere stands at around 3 or 4% right now, uh, as compared to the petrol. So the government is having a vision to convert like 30% of the vehicle by 2030 into electric. So there's a huge scope in the market, and these numbers, to be very honest, are nothing. So we are planning like to be a 1,000 crore company in next 2 to 3 years.
All the best for that. So you were talking about how you're planning to, triple your turnover. What are the steps you've taken in that direction to be sure, that you achieve your targets?
So first, as I told you that we are focused more towards the retail chain. So right now we have 5 associate points available. Sorry, 6 we have, and as I said you, 3 we are doing from ourselves here. So right now 9 states which we can cater right now. Apart from it, we are expanding these numbers to 20 by the end of this financial year. So these numbers will help in many manners, these associate points basically. First of all, what happens when we open an associate points in a state, so it gives the people a confidence that company is there. So if I require any kind of service, or is there any kind of feedback or anything which I required, whether it is a new battery or service thing or whatever is the scenario, so we are available there locally. So they give them a confidence. So this help us to like increase the number. So if I give you an example, so previously when we doesn't have a like associate point in Gujarat, so our sales from Gujarat is somewhere around like 40-50 lakhs. Right now we are doing around 1.5 to 2 crores from Gujarat itself. So this is the way which is helping us to expand the numbers. So like Maharashtra, there are many states which we are looking forward, and we are expanding the numbers. So that is how we are driven our revenue. First of all, through the associate point. Secondly, the recycling, which I said is the one major core prospect which we are looking into and which we are working towards. So right now we working towards reusability of the. We are giving the buyback, or we can say like in two-wheelers we are the only company who's offering this service.
So what's this buyback?
So what we do, if you have a any brand battery and you want to upgrade your battery, or you want a new, or your battery got expired, or like the life is ended, so you want to buy a new battery, you can come to Maxvolt associate point or a dealer which is available near to you. We give you a certain buyback value for which stands from 2200 to 5000 according to the battery pack size. We give you that buyback on the new battery, and you can get a discount upfront on this particular battery pack. That is how we are working, and we use those batteries uh, in our kind of different prospects which we can do.
That's actually an interesting way to, that's an interesting marketing technique also, and also probably a great way to reach out to more consumers.
Exactly. So that is how we are trying to bridge the gap and reduce the scenarios which are getting of dumping or something in the market. So we are working towards that particular and that is why it gives us a boost as well, because in retail, if for example, why people shift from lead acid to lithium is also a question. So what happens when you buy any lead acid battery in your home for in your inverters? So what happens when you go to replace your battery? You will get a certain amount of buyback according to the weight of the battery, right?
Yeah, we all sell our home batteries by kilos.
Yeah. So in lithium, people don't get any kind of buyback. So if, for example, a battery costs 20,000, so he have to pay 20,000 itself. With our battery or with our company, what we did, we introduced this policy. So for example, you somewhere get the value, not exactly about the lead acid, I can say, but yes, it is, you are getting a better value than the lead acid plus a better product as well. So that is the prospect which helping us to drive the market in a better way.
Which is interesting. So, what are the challenges that you faced, and how did you actually overcome them?
This industry is totally challenging because what happens, this is not a industry which is growing, so it is not a mature industry. So a lot of stuff when we started, so first of all, getting the right raw material, right supplier, finding these kind of things was the first challenge which we faced. So if we figure out from time to time, we improved ourselves from time to time, and in current scenario we are facing many challenges also, like hiring issues. So what happens, like as the industry is not mature, so we don't get that skilled manpower which is available in the market. So we, it will take around like 5 more years to get this sorted, but yes, it is always a challenging, or we challenge ourselves as well to develop new products, and what are the scenarios which is in the market and how we are better from them. So we always challenge ourselves plus the challenges that we get from the market. So these are the stuff which we do.
Lithium batteries are something which is very futuristic. However, it has just started.
Right.
So how do you see the future of the industry?
So, lithium is one of the most matured industry right now. Not in terms of industry, but in terms of chemistry, if I talk about. So, lithium is one of the matured chemistry. You do any chemistry, like whether it is LFP, whether it is NMC, whether it is LMFP, or whatever be the consequences, whatever be the related chemistries with the lithium. But you can see lithium is everywhere. You cannot discrete that because it is one of the proven and futuristic technologies which are already existing in the market. But apart from it, there are few more technologies which are a bit promising, we can say. So sodium ion is one of the most promising, and hydrogen, as you have seen, that government is promoting a lot. But yeah, it is in the initial phase. It will take some time to get into the market. So it will take around 10 years minimum to get into the market. Until then, lithium is already have a very already things are going on in the term of energy density, power density, or these are the some prospects which drive the lithium. So day by day, all companies are doing research on these kind of prospect, which is helping lithium to move towards a better, or we can say a better approachable chemistry.
All right. So this was Vishal Gupta with us, who is doing a very futuristic business, but in the present, and his eyes are set on the future. And this is something which we can also learn from him, that if you're thinking of a business, think of it in terms of something which is relatable today, but has the potential to grow manyfold in the future. So this was today's tip. Goodbye for now. We'll see you next time.
So, hello everyone. We are here with one another insightful podcast, and today's guest is Mr. Vishal Gupta, the CTO and co-founder of Maxvolt. Welcome, Vishal.
Thank you. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for inviting me for this, like for the session.
First of all, the first question which I would like to ask is Vishal that what is the main idea of Maxvolt? Like what is Maxvolt and what does it do?
So basically, Maxvolt is a battery company. So like what we do exactly in terms of battery. So we do batteries for two wheelers, three wheelers, energy storage applications. or I can simply say wherever you can imagine a lead acid battery, we can replace that with a lithium battery. That is what Maxvolt is.
Okay. So, like, what is the core idea of your business and from where did you get inspiration from?
So my background comes from mechanical engineering. I'm having specialization from IIT Delhi as well. So I was working with one of a startup named, like they were into solar panel cleaning robot manufacturing. So that robot would runs on an this lithium battery. So it cleans the panels at that point. So when I was working with them, so I feel like in the industry there are a lot of gap. People are not able to provide the proper product, plus they are not able to provide or work out on this prospect that will make the service better, will make a suitable and according to the market product. So that is
Hmm.
how we got started.
Okay, so Vishal.
So my background comes from mechanical engineering, and I'm having specialization from IIT Delhi in electric vehicles. So previously, I was working with a company I was working with a company who's particularly into this solar panel cleaning robots manufacturing.
Hmm.
So at that point of time, I was taking care of their battery division. So
Hmm.
we were sourcing battery from outside,
Hmm.
so we were facing many challenges, right? Like not getting the product on time, first of all, is the major challenge, which
Hmm.
delays the supply. Secondly, we are not getting the suitable product, or we
Hmm.
can say we are not getting the customizations in the product.
Hmm.
Thirdly, the service. So we are not getting the proper service in the industry. So that is how we thought of there are a lot of gaps in the industry. So we
Hmm.
have to work out on the same and fulfill these gaps. That is how we get the inspiration to come up with Maxvolt and start a venture on the same.
Hmm. Okay. So, you just explained like the core business idea of your core model of your business. Like, where did you got this inspiration? Like, we should start, like, it is a co-founded business, right? Three
Yes.
founders are there. So, how did you guys got inspiration and how do you meet your mates, like other co-founders?
So at that point of time, when we incorporated in May 2019, prior to
Hmm.
that, we took almost a year to get into this market. So we did the market research, we did the market scenarios, how the market is working, and the future prospects. So we were
Hmm.
working on all these prospects. So then we get to know and at that point of the time, the government started pushing these electric vehicles at a very expedited pace.
Hmm.
So we were already researching on the same, and told you like from where we get the business idea and what are the market gaps which we were
Yeah.
planning to fulfill. So
Hmm.
and suddenly this market push from government came up. So we thought of let's get into the market. There's a big market, and when government get involved in anything, so that market definitely becomes big. And we all know where the market stands right now and what the future prospects are there.
Okay. So, like, how is Maxfold different from its competitors?
So, first of all, I would like to add one thing that we are not a EV battery manufacturing company.
Okay.
We are a battery manufacturing company.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whether it is for UPS, whether it is for backups, whether it is for home application, whether it is
Hmm.
for EV energy store, any application. So we are a battery company who's focused on getting lead lead acid batteries replaced by lithium batteries. That is how on which agenda we are working. So in terms of differentiation, first of all, so we introduced a 48-hour service, which I told you before that service is one of the major core prospect in the industry. And when it comes to the for a two-wheeler or three-wheeler user, so when the battery is dead, when the battery service is not will be provided to them properly, the scooter or the rickshaw will be in a steady state, and it is a
Hmm.
kind of dead inventory for them. So
Okay.
first of all we introduce the 48-hour service
Hmm.
which is the total differentiation in the industry. Secondly, we provide a buyback on our batteries.
Hmm.
So those batteries, when the user will get a buyback value, same as a kind of lead acid batteries. And we have, in terms of supply chain, we have a very strong supply chain, which
Hmm.
help us to we have our own associate points on state to state basis, which we
Hmm.
have right now 6 associate points, and we are expanding this number to 20 by the end of this financial year. So these are the few differentiations that we have
Okay.
over our competitors.
Hmm. So can you explain like from where do you like source your raw materials of like the battery?
So right now we source from China majorly because China is the major source for lithium cells, and they are the leaders in this as well. So
Hmm.
right now we source from China, but yes, we are looking for some other alternatives as well, like from Japan and Korea as well.
Okay, so like you prefer which country, like Japan or like is there any difference between those? Like the China thing is bad or like Japan is good or something like that?
So like we cannot say that we work with one of the finest manufacturers in China.
Okay.
So like we can say we work with the top 10 manufacturers. We have a very strict quality agreement with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in terms of product quality, we have our own parameters which we have our own parameters which we give to the supplier.
Hmm.
On that behalf, we only take the materials. So we have a very strict quality process. Whether it is from like anywhere, we have a very strict sourcing policies.
Okay. So like you source your raw materials from there, right? And then
Yes.
make like the finished product in like which state? Where's the place which you combine of
So
all of this and make a battery?
currently, our factory is based in Noida,
Okay.
and we are expanding our we are enhancing our capacity, and we are like our new plant is in progress, so
Hmm.
we are expecting it to be get ready by the end of June. So we are planning to, so we have planned like our current capacity is 2200 batteries a month in Noida, and we are
Okay.
expanding this number to almost thrice, around 6000 to 7000 batteries a month, which we are doing in a new plant.
Okay. So you just told me like you don't just manufacture for like EV vehicles, you manufacture for like other appliances as well, right? UPS
Right,
and stuff.
right,
So you just told me the number 2200 per month.
right.
So it is just for the vehicles or it is like completely like complete number is that?
So basically, in terms of battery, we
Hmm.
evaluate our capacity on the basis of a per kilowatt hour, basically, because
Okay.
that is the basic calculating criteria of the battery, we can say.
Hmm.
So these 2200 is on a standard 2 kilowatt hour battery pack basis.
Okay.
Our like we can say our monthly capacity is around 4 megawatt hour.
Okay. So my next question to you, Vishal, is that how do you stay ahead in terms of technological advancements in the rapidly evolving market?
So, like, market is evolving in many
Hmm.
prospects, but yes, we are also competing with them, or like we are kind of we are working in that prospect that we'll have the updated advancements in the market. So
Hmm.
right now we are working on a solution which will help to charge the battery in a faster way, so that we will reduce the charging time to 2 hours in the first phase, and and in the second phase we'll bring down the charging time to 1 hour.
Hmm.
And in this this is the one thing which we are working on, and other we are working on sodium ion technologies as well. Thirdly, we are working on the reusability and recycling part.
Hmm.
So these are the our core prospects which we are working towards. We have in terms of like R&D, which I told you, that we are working towards a development of a device, or we can say a complete system which helps the battery to get charged in 2 hours in the first phase, and in the second phase we'll bring it down to 1 hour.
Hmm.
Apart from it, we are working on high energy density cells as well, which increases which decreases the charging time basically. And
Hmm.
apart from it, sodium ion is one of the most promising and future based technologies in which we are also working is in the R&D phase. So
Hmm.
it is like for energy storage, it is already a workable technology.
Hmm.
But for the EVs, we are like enhancing it according to the EV requirements.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like battery production, which you produce, like includes lithium and other cobalt and everything like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, how do you ensure the sustainability of your battery production process?
So first of all, the point is like the cobalt and all these stuff came down to the cell manufacturing.
Hmm.
We are into battery pack manufacturing right now. Post
Okay.
5 years, we have plans to get into cell manufacturing as well.
Okay.
So, and when it comes to the quality or sustainability of our product, so as I said before, that we are having very strict quality parameters with the manufacturers.
Okay.
So from where we procure the material, and other thing is like that how we procure the material basically. So I'll give you a brief about that as well. So first of all, what we do, we give our parameters to the manufacturer,
Hmm.
and we strictly buy those only materials who are on our parameters. Secondly, when the material gets ready, we do a third party quality check of the material. And
Hmm.
when it ships from there and reaches our factory, so we test every single cell which is received from the manufacturer. And
Hmm.
then those cells, when they got tested and segregated according to the product designing or the product requirement, then we do a final quality test on the cells. Then it proceeds further for the pack manufacturing. And when the pack gets completed, we test the whole pack as well. So we test at the cell level first, which are the three points on which we check, and at the
Hmm.
pack level, 2 points which we check. So these are the overall from cell to pack. We check 5 points in that
Okay.
to sustain in terms of sustainability of the product.
Okay. So what is like as a co-founder or a CTO, what is like your biggest learning you got from your journey so far?
So, like, there are a lot of learnings, and we can say like we are learning on day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
Every day there's something new came up.
Yeah.
But in terms of like initial learnings, I can say. So when
Hmm.
we started, so the market was in the initial phase.
Okay.
So get first of all, getting the skilled manpower is one of the
Hmm.
major tasks.
Hmm.
So we that is the one challenge which we face. Finding the right supplier, like finding the correct product, finding the right market. These
Hmm.
are the many challenges which we faced, and accordingly we learn from them how to lend an OEM, how to enhance our distribution network, how to appoint dealers. So these are the learnings which we are doing on day-to-day basis. Plus, in terms of product, we are always open for the like enhancements and open for the suggestions as well. So we
Hmm.
take regular feedbacks from our client whether they are getting any issues or is the product running fine. So we take on regular intervals we take these kind of feedbacks from the client so that we have understanding like where our product is standing. So that
Hmm.
is the learning which we are taking, and these are the things which we came up from the past as well.
Okay. So are there any upcoming projects or innovations you are particularly excited about right now?
Yeah, so we are enhancing ourselves into this megawatt level projects. Right
Hmm.
now, we serve for energy storage up to 200 kilowatt solutions. But yes, post 1 year, we are having expansion plans to get into this megawatt or container level solutions, which will like the market requirement demands. This is the one project. Apart from it, we are moving towards the recycling as well. Right now, we are doing the reusability of the cells, and we
Hmm.
are moving towards recycling, so which will get us a healthy prospect in the market.
Yeah.
So and apart from it, we have our own charger, so we are working towards developing our own charger line as well. So these are
Okay.
the few projects down the line which we have, or like if I talk about in a long run, so like
Hmm.
post 5 years we have planned to get into cell manufacturing as well. So
Okay.
we are working towards the developing complete supply chain of like from raw material to the cell manufacturing. That is how we are working.
Okay, so you deal with other businesses, right? Like it is not a customer B2C business, it is a B2B business, right?
Yes, it is a B2B business.
Okay. So my next question is, how do you handle and end of life battery management and recycling?
So right now, what we do, as I stated, that we buy back batteries from the client. So
Hmm.
this is a win-win situation for a client and for us as well. So client gets a buyback value which no one is offering in the market right now,
Hmm.
and we get the batteries buyback to our factory.
Okay.
Secondly, what we do, we use them in applications which requires very low current withdrawals.
Okay.
So, and when post to that, when they complete their life cycle in these kind of applications, for example, EV battery has completed its life cycle in EV application, then it will be able to use for like secondary applications, for example, like bulb application and
Hmm.
backups application, which requires a very low current withdrawal. So we use them in those applications. And post to that, when they complete their life cycle, we put them for the recycling. As of now, we are supplying to the authorized recyclers for extracting the raw materials from the cells. But post next year, or like post 1 year, we have plans to set up our own recycling plant as well.
Okay. So that's also a part of the like advancement on a plan.
Exactly, exactly.
So can you like explain me the pricing and your profit margin in the like batteries? And you can you have this battery we get this profit share, and in this battery we like the making cost is this much, and we like get this much like profit share.
So right now our COGS value is somewhere around, we can say, like 76 to 78%,
Hmm.
and 22% is the overall margin which we get. That
Okay.
there are taxes and factory expenses and everything is there. So the
Hmm.
margin is somewhere around 22% right now. And as we are expanding towards recycling, so
Hmm.
we are planning to bring down our COGS value to somewhere around 65%. So there's a 10% impact which will recycling help us to get on our battery packs.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like you manufacture for EV vehicles, like the EV batteries, right?
Yes, it is one of our segments.
Yeah,
So
it is your
in
one
terms,
of your
yes,
segment.
yes, yes.
So one thing I would like to ask is, can you explain like how is EV like a better option than other like gases and petrol and everything else? What is the importance of EV in the market right now?
So if you see in today's EVs, one of
Hmm.
the major challenge in EV. So first we talk about the challenge, because then
Hmm.
we get to know how good it is or how bad it is.
Yeah.
So basically, when we buy a EV, so we have a single thought process. Ke if I want to go, for example, like 100 or 150 kilometers, so
Hmm.
does my EV sustainable? Or if I have to go up and down of a total run of around 150 kilometers, so am
Hmm.
I able to charge the battery in that meantime that I'll get that particular amount of range?
Okay.
So our batteries came up with this, that we have range from 1.2 kilowatt for EVs specifically, for
Hmm.
two-wheelers I'm talking about. We
Okay.
have range from 1.25 kilowatt to 3 kilowatt solutions, which will give you a sufficient amount of range around 150 to 170 kilometers on
Hmm.
standard conditions.
Okay.
Plus, our battery supports fast charging system, and we are so right now our battery gets charged in 3 to 3.5 hours,
Hmm.
and we are working towards this solution to bring it down to 2 and 1 hour as well,
Okay.
which I told you
So
previously.
how
So
that happen? Like you are the CTO, then how are you going to do that? Like the three, you have to like bridge the gap of 1 hour, right?
exactly, exactly.
So how are you planning to do that?
So basically, we are working towards a, like, we can say it's a hybrid energy storage solution I am talking about, which is
Hmm.
specifically for EVs we are developing. So
Hmm.
in these solutions, we are having two different modules. One is the supercapacitor module, another one is the lithium battery module. So
Hmm.
in this, what's happening, how the a scooter works in, I'll tell you how the scooter works. So in
Hmm.
a scooter, basically, the peak whenever we give the initial boost, like when we do the initial throttle, so battery the vehicle withdraws the peak power from the battery.
Okay.
So the solution which we are developing,
Hmm.
so that peak power will be supplied by the supercapacitor module,
Hmm.
and when it comes to the nominal power, it will be supplied by the lithium battery module. So
Hmm.
that is a complete solution which we are working on. So we are having working towards the electronics on the same, because switching is the major task in this solution. When it
Okay.
comes to the peak power, it will switch to the switch to the supercapacitor module. When it like when there's a nominal power, it will switch to the lithium battery module. So
Hmm.
that is the solution which will bridge our gap for 1 hour, which I said, and which you
Hmm.
asked for. And post to that, we'll bridge that gap of 2 hours. So as I
Hmm.
said, we are bringing it down to 1 hour charging time.
Hmm.
So that is the solution. Plus, we are working on high energy density cells as well, which will help us to reduce the charging time in shorter span as well.
Okay.
Yes,
So can you explain me like if I have a two-wheeler?
right.
Okay, so I'll have to carry like two batteries every time I step out of the house, like that process.
So, no, as I said, we have solution from 1.2 to 3 kilowatt hour, and
Hmm.
we have customization solutions as well. So, for
Okay.
example, if you say I have a running of around 150 kilometers, and your scooter motor is 1000 watt. So we have like 48, like we can say 3 kilowatt solution which we have. So that will give you that that much amount of range, like
Okay.
150 kilometers which you need.
Hmm.
If you want post that, so we will evaluate everything about your scooter,
Okay.
about the sizing that you have available. So we
Hmm.
design the battery pack for you as well. That is the customization part, which we basically do for OEMs as well, because every time is OEM is having a specific demand. Someone
Hmm.
wants a shorter range battery, some wants a bigger range batteries. So
Hmm.
we have solutions for both.
Okay.
So in simple short, you have to like keep a single battery
Okay.
which we design according to your specific requirement.
Okay.
If
So,
you are an OEM, original equipment manufacturer like scooter manufacturer, if you are a rickshaw
okay.
manufacturer.
Okay. So, for example, like, can you tell me the clients you deal with, like any big, any changing clients in your, like, which have changed your journey of Max Volt? Any big clients you have dealt with?
So initially we worked out with many reputed OEMs in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
but post to that, like as we were not that deep pocket company initially,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we changed our criteria of working basically. So what we did, we found one more gap in the industry, that is the retail market.
Hmm.
So, government given a clear guideline that you are free, like a dealer is free to buy a battery from any uh, certified battery manufacturer.
Hmm.
So, we expanded our footprints towards that industry, or like we can say towards that segment basically.
Hmm.
So, we right now we have around 387 dealers on towards west, north, and like in these regions, and we are expanding. As I told you that we have associate points, 5 active associate points right now. One is
Okay.
in Lucknow in Bihar, in
Hmm.
Gujarat, in MP, and Delhi NCR we are itself, and there's one more in Calcutta. So these
Okay.
are the six, we can say, including Noida, where Noida factory, we can say we
Hmm.
have six operational centers,
Hmm.
plus these, and we have 387 dealers. So our major penetration is towards the retail network. We do
Okay.
supply for like 8 to 10 OEMs as of now, but these
Hmm.
are mid-size OEMs. So
Okay.
who are having a capacity of around, who are having monthly requirement of around, we can say 100, 200 batteries right now.
Hmm.
Our
Okay.
major penetration comes from retail. We have a like pretty good retail penetration as of now.
Okay. So, any client you would like to name from retail?
So there are multiple dealers who having good consumption in Gujarat, and in
Hmm.
Agra. We have few clients who are having really good consumption, who consume around 100 or 200 batteries a month, which is like equivalent to an OEM or a small size OEM, we can say.
Okay. So, Vishal, my last question to you would be that where would you see like Maxvolt in 5 to 10 years from now? And are there any plans for further fundraising?
So I won't say open to that, but yes, there are some good big fundraising news will be there in the market in next 2 to 3 months, we can say.
Okay. Like they're talking to them right now or something like that?
So some processes are going on. So as I
Okay.
said, I won't be open to that, much open to that. But yes, I'll
Mhm.
give a brief that there are some good future prospects are there for fundraising. And
Oh,
a post, like we can say by end of August, we have some good news in the market as well. And previously we have raised some fund as well.
okay.
And the bigger chunk will be available by August.
Hmm.
And in terms of Maxvolt, so we are a company who's expanding towards, like, we are expanding slowly. So if
Hmm.
I give you a brief about our revenue segregations
Yeah,
or
yeah.
our product segregation which we sell in the market. So right now our 75% of the revenue comes from EVs, because
Okay.
that is the initial market which grown
Yeah.
at a rapid pace. From EVs it is like two-wheelers and three-wheelers as of now. And and apart from it, the 25% is come from the energy storage market, for
Hmm.
whether it is starter batteries or like the home applications or solar parks, these kind of applications which we serve.
Hmm.
So in next in next 5 years, we are having plans to expand our battery for different applications like the starter battery, which is
Mhm.
a huge market in India for these cars, two-wheelers, and all applications.
Okay.
Apart from it, the home utilities itself a huge market. We are expanding towards that as well. We are expanding towards recycling and extraction of raw materials from lithium cells as well, like cobalt, nickel, and
Okay.
graphite, these kind of materials. So these are the future plans, or these are the future prospects that we have.
Okay. So, thank you, Vishal, for this conversation. We will end it here. These are my questions to you. Thank you so much for being the part of
Thank
our
you.
conversation.
Thank you for allowing me to be there. Thank you so much for your time.